Before we start today's episode, I want to talk about our new sponsor, Cosa Nostra Brand. Go to CosaNostraBrand.com and join the family with all the merch that's on sale. So order your gear now and join the family.
He's a former WWE European and Intercontinental Champion, a key member of the Nation of Domination, and one of the most electrifying personalities of the Attitude Era. You know the trademark head bob, you know the walk, and you definitely know the attitude. Straight out of Jersey welcomes D'Lo Brown.
Jersey Joe, what is going on, man? Thank you for having me on. I appreciate it. It's always good to chop it up with a fellow man from New Jersey.
That's all right, man. Now, what part of New Jersey were you from?
Burlington Township, so just south of Trenton, right between Trenton and Philadelphia, right on Route 130 and 295.
Okay. And you went to the Monster Factory, correct?
I did go to the Monster Factory when it was in Clementon, New Jersey.
Okay.
One of the final few classes that Larry Sharp actually had. So, yeah, the Monster Factory is right there with me. Was the Spiders, Glenn Ruth and Chaz. They were the headbangers.
Of course.
Chris Candino and Sonny, they were there as well, as long as a slew of other guys. So I got a real good start in wrestling.
I always like to ask all the guys, you took a lot of bumps.
Mm-hmm.
How is your health today? Are you okay? How are you feeling?
I am good today. Look, I feel the wear and tear of wrestling. But I'm a lot luckier considering the amount of bumps I took. I'm a lot luckier than some of my counterparts in terms of my health. So I knock on wood here that I still can walk around and function, and I don't have huge back problems or hip problems. So I consider myself lucky.
Now, did you always grow up a wrestling fan? Did you always enjoy wrestling?
Always. From the time I was 9 years old, I remember, I tell the story, it's a Jersey guy. I remember back in the old days on the old regular TV channels, we had 17 out of Philadelphia and channel 11 out of New York City. And between the two, I got wrestling for about 6 hour span because Philadelphia was about 3 hours, and then you'd switch up north to New York, and you'd get that. So I grew up watching Dusty Rhodes and Magnum TA and Tully Blanchard and a young Ron Simmons, the Road Warriors, Rockville Express, that was my foundation.
Okay. Now, you obviously went to the Monster Factory, like you said, but when did you decide that wrestling was going to be your go-to?
11 years old. No, it was after I got out of college, and I was, full disclosure, I was a backyarder, so we would play around a lot. But I went off to college and did the grown-up thing, went to work in New York, and then I would always get calls from one of my friends who's goes back to high school. His name is Tom Carter. He wrestles as Reckless Youth. He called me and said, "Hey, we're still rolling around." And they were still playing in the backyard. So I would work in New York and then drive down to Jersey, and we'd go play around, and we would rent Larry Sharp's ring. And so we would put on and I use air quotes, pay-per-views, because we had our own belts made of, craft paper, and we'd bring out a camcorder, and that was our hard cam, and we'd record ourselves playing around. Well, one day Larry Sharp goes, "Hey, you ever think about doing this for real?" And I said, "Really, me? Okay." And he goes, "Tell you what, if you sell 50 tickets to the next show, you could be on it." I thought, okay. So I sold 4, bought the other 46 myself, and that's how I got into the world of wrestling.
Now, your name was Ace the Animal, is that correct?
Yes, Ace the Animal was my first name because I was a big Road Warriors fan, and like all of us, and Ace was my nickname in high school, so it was an easy transition.
Okay. The D'Lo Brown name, though. Now, did your friend Darren give you that name?
That was my friend in high school. He was a neighborhood friend. He passed away from cancer. His name was Darren Lewis.
Okay.
And when I started wrestling, I asked his mother if I could use his nickname because his nickname was D'Lo. Okay. So I used D'Lo, and then Brown just got thrown on because it rolled with downtown D'Lo Brown. And it just rolled together, and that's how I became D'Lo Brown. So whenever my name is introduced, his name is introduced as well.
Okay, cool. Now you got into, I guess, Smoky Mountain was your first, promotion, correct?
Yes,
And
absolutely.
I knew New Jack, and I got to tell you, people are always scared of New Jack. I think that's the character he portrays because he was one of the nicest guys I've ever met, man.
And I tell everybody when you think of the story of Jack, you got to put New Jack over here, and you got to put Jerome Young over here.
Correct.
I knew and loved Jerome Young. That was the guy I rolled around with the car. It's the guy you're talking about. It's the
Correct.
guy I rode him down the highways with, and we chilled at the house, and we played video games together. New Jack was a dude that showed up when the cameras were there.
Correct. 100%.
And if you know the difference, then you've really met Jack and got to know Jack, because he's two different people.
Mm-hmm.
I know both sides of that person, but Jerome Young is the side that will. I tell people he'll give you the shirt off his back, and if you don't take it, he will beat you up, knock you out, and when you wake up, you're wearing his shirt.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Was it a little bit crazy in Smoky Mountain with the way he kind of led some of those, promotions, the promoters and everything, kind of a little bit crazy,
Okay, 1994 Tennessee, hell, 2025 Tennessee wasn't ready for New Jack. So this brother was out there spitting bars and saying things that these people had never heard about themselves, because he took pride in holding up a mirror and showing them themselves. And man, Jack was such a good heel, such a good talker, that if you gave him 5 minutes on a microphone, I don't care whose music hit, they were going to be a babyface. The devil himself could get an intro, and people would pop from, yes, the devil, because that's how good Jack was as a talker. So, I mean, I think he's underappreciated and never got to be seen on a national level, probably because some of the stuff he couldn't say on a national level.
Correct.
But I wish the world would have gotten a bigger and a better chance to have explored the character of New Jack.
Yeah, I remember that O.J. Simpson promo he cut, and I was like, "Oh my god!"
Too less to worry about. I mean, that man, when he said that, you could hear pins on cotton. That's how quiet it was. And that wasn't like the most controversial thing he ever said.
No.
He said far worse stuff that got people. Look, we had so much heat in Smoky Mountain. They didn't want to boo us heat. They wanted to lynch us heat. And that was Jack talking.
So then how did you get the move to the big show, the WWE?
That came about when New Jack and Staff went up to ECW. And I didn't go with him because Paulie only wanted a two-man crew there. He only wanted Jack and Staffa. So then I went on out and explored myself, and I went down out to the independents in the Midwest, then went down to Puerto Rico, and then I gave Jim Cornette a call, who obviously was the operator of Smoky Mountain Wrestling. Him and Jim Ross was my color commentator. So when I called Cornette and just casual, hey, how you doing, checking in, he asked me where I've been. I told him Puerto Rico. He goes, all right, I'll call you right back. And he hangs up on me. I look at my girlfriend at the time. I go, honey, Jimmy just hung up on me. He calls back and he goes, can you be in New York this Saturday? And I go, yeah. He goes, all right, I'll have someone from WWF Travel call you. His next question was, do you have a suit? And I go, of course I have a suit. And he goes, all right, I'll see you Saturday. And as soon as I hang up, I go, honey, I need to go get a suit. And that was the Shotgun Saturday Night where I got Pro War plunge on top of the Lincoln by Ahmed Johnson. And that was my introduction into the company. And that bump, the Pro War on top of the car got Vince's attention. And then they started giving me little bits more and more and more. So now I went from bow tie guy to wrestling guy to D'Lo Brown on TV to off to the races. Yep.
And let me ask you about Vince McMahon real quick. He's obviously a polarizing figure, very, people are scared sometimes to be in a room with him. How was Vince with you?
He would tell jokes.
Really?
Like I got lucky because obviously you're intimidated by Vince when you see him because this is the Wizard of Oz. This is the man who controls everything. Correct. So when you first see him, you're like, oh, I've seen him on TV. You're starstruck. And then you see Ron Simmons go up to him and just chopping it up. And I'm like, oh, he's just a normal dude. And so I got lucky because I was around guys who knew Vince at that level. So by association, I just kind of got in there, and he would tell jokes with me and have fun. So he wasn't intimidating. Now, don't get me wrong. If he asked you to do something and you didn't do it properly or the way he had envisioned, you didn't get the joke. Vince McMahon, you got
come over
that
here.
dude, and you didn't want that one.
Yeah. Nation of Domination. I mean, they should be in the Hall of Fame. That's no question about it. You guys should be in the Hall of Fame. You guys are all superstars there. I mean, Ron Simmons and everyone. Why aren't you in the Hall of Fame, you guys think, yet? You know?
I don't know. And I can honestly say I think the nation as a whole should be in the Hall of Fame. And I say this because typically when you have a faction, it's built to elevate one person. And when the faction goes away, no one really talks about that faction anymore. Very few times you get that. You get the Four Horsemen, or you get, DX. The thing about the nation is that all of us became bigger after leaving the nation. So that shows you the launching pad that the nation was. And to me, its cultural significance on what it did to the business, launching myself, Ron Simmons, Godfather, Mark Henry, and that dude who's in Hollywood, The Rock. The nation launched all of us. Just for that sheer fact alone, the nation as a group should be in the Hall of Fame.
Yep, you're absolutely right. Ron Simmons, I've met Ron before. He was actually just a great guy. Yes. And I remember watching on TV when he won the title from, I think Vader was when he won the title.
I was in Baltimore, Maryland the night he won the title.
Oh, were you really?
I was in the audience, yes.
Oh, you were in the audience. He is such a respected figure, and everyone speaks highly of him. Why is that? Did he have a presence in the locker room?
He has that leader mentality. And he's a father figure, and he's never negative. He tries to always uplift, and he's always teaching. And he's always there for the betterment of you as an individual and the betterment of the business. And those two things combined puts him on a level where he was always worried about the next generation coming up. He was going to get his, but he wanted to make sure he was going to bring along people with him. So he's like everyone. He's like the locker room's like dad, grandpa, Uncle Phil. He's all that wrapped into one. And even to this day, I mean, if I wanted to paint my bathroom purple, I'll go, hey Ron, should I paint my bathroom purple? He'll go, that's a stupid shade of purple. You don't need to do that damn stuff. So even till this day, I hold him in such high standard that and I'm like a lot of other people out there too. Just Ron means so much to all of us.
Yep, exactly. You had a very young Rock in the nation, very young green Rock, as they say. Did you think he was going to be as big as he is today?
Look, if anybody says they could see back in '97 what he became, they're lying to you.
Okay.
They're flat out lying, okay? But what you could see is the guy who was putting in the extra work when no one was watching.
Okay.
I spent many days in a hotel room traveling, or I spent many days sitting in a car. And there are times I thought he was talking to himself and he's just cutting promos. He's just thinking about cutting promos. Or we'll be in the hotel and he's practicing different facial movements and working up the people's eyebrow. That's the work. That's the work you do when no one is watching that pays off when the world is. And that is the work ethic I saw from him. So if I tell you I saw the hardest working man in sports entertainment, I saw that in Rocky. Now, did I think he was going to be a star in wrestling? Yes. Could I tell you he was going to become this mega star in Hollywood around the world? Hell no. Come on, man. No. But I'm glad I had a front row seat for it.
Is it true you came up with the people's elbow?
Rocky and I didn't come up with the people's elbow. Like Rocky and I were sitting in a hotel room and we named the people's elbow. And then the next night on Raw, when Rocky was wrestling, I forget who was wrestling, but I was on commentary with Jim Ross and Jerry Lawler, and I cut off JR in the middle of him doing a promo or him doing commentary, which is, if you ain't got something good to say, you better not cut JR off. And I threw it out there and I said, Rocky's got something for the peoples. And as he did, I go there and he drops it. I go, the people's elbow. And that was the first time it was named on TV. And so I put the people's elbow name out there for the first time for the world to hear.
Wow, that's incredible. Mark Henry, I want to talk to because I know you and Derek. You have a great podcast with Derek. Podcast Heat. Great job with the podcast there. Mark Henry was on, like, I think a couple of days ago. I know a lot of bodybuilders. I'm friends with a lot of bodybuilders. I have them on my show, and I'm trying to get Mark to come on too. Every bodybuilder I've talked to has told me Mark Henry is without a doubt the strongest man they've ever seen. Can you attest to that?
I won't say he's the strongest man. He's the strongest creature this planet has ever seen. There is nothing that has been stronger than Mark. I mean, here's the scary thing is young Mark Henry in Attitude Era didn't know how strong Mark Henry was.
Wow.
Like, he would do things and it would even amaze him. That's how strong he was. He knew he was strong. But man, I have never seen anything on this planet as strong as Mark Henry.
Wow. Did you ever go to the gym with him a bunch of times?
Yeah. You sat back and you marveled when he's squatting 600 for reps. You just go, I wish I could do that. I've seen this man bend rebar in a bow tie.
Holy shit.
And not like struggle, just, when I talk like Hercules strength, Hercules is jealous of Mark Henry.
Wow. That's crazy. I wanted to bring it up because I've interviewed him already. I've interviewed him before, and that was Tony Norris, who you know as Ahmed Johnson.
Ahmed, yeah.
He has his side of the stories, but everyone I've talked to tell me the side that and everyone else knows. What was it about Ahmed? Can you tell me a little bit about him?
There's some people who are just, I'll just say, mentality wise, not everybody is cut out for this business. Yeah. And Ahmed had a sense of self, and I don't want to say anything negative about anybody. Ahmed had a sense of self, and his sense of self didn't align with the rest of everybody in wrestling. And look, the man had the world in front of him. Vince McMahon was trying to make him the next big thing. And his vision of himself talked him out of that position and out of the company. And the proof is in the history. So I'll leave it at that.
Yeah. I also interviewed Chaz, who's a friend. He's a Jersey guy. Chaz from
love him to death.
He's a cool dude, man. I talk to him all the time. And he loved teaming with you when you were low down. Did you enjoy that tag team with him? Because he said he loved it with you.
I love being with Chaz. I loved Lowdown when we were wearing the track pants and no top. I hated Lowdown when Tiger Ali Singh was put with us. Yeah. And it's the same conversation Chaz and I had a million times. We really thought they missed the boat on it because they had built up the version of Lowdown with the track, with the track pants. We were having great matches with the Dudleys and the Hardys, and they were getting ready to slot us right into that tag team division. At that time was the hottest tag team division in wrestling. And then Vince had the idea of bringing Tiger Ali Singh back and making Chaz and I sympathizers, and that's when the wheels just fell off. Yeah.
It's sad because you guys are underrated. I think we should have seen more of you guys. Really, really sad.
People were into us. The crowds reacted to us well, and then next thing I know, I was looking like Aladdin. So I don't know how that happened.
Yeah. I was actually interviewed Vince Russo, and then the day after Hulk Hogan passed away. Hulk Hogan, he's one of the big time wrestlers. Everyone knows who he is. Obviously, he said some things. How do you feel about Hulk Hogan and his legacy?
Here's the thing: is two things can be true simultaneously.
Okay.
The wrestling world owes a debt of gratitude to the character of Hulk Hogan. What he did for wrestling, how he threw wrestling on and put a spotlight on the business in a time when wrestling was just a joke. Now, Terry Bollea, that's a different dude. That's a different animal, and that's a different cat with different set of problems. So two things can be true simultaneously. I adore the character of Hulk Hogan and what he did for wrestling. Not Terry Bollea, not so much.
Did you ever have a bunch of dealings with him? Did you ever have anything?
Dealt with him a lot, and dealt a lot with him in TNA.
TNA, yeah.
Yeah, I was there at the same time him and Bischoff were there. So dealt firsthand with him and one-on-one and up close and personal.
Oh, okay. All right. Enough said about that. I want to switch gears a little bit because I'm a big football fan. You're a football fan, and I know you do a lot of sports stuff too.
Yes, sir.
You're a Bears fan.
You can see the Bears logo over my shoulder right now.
I'm a Jets fan, man, and I like Aaron Glenn. What do you think about our Jets, man?
Okay, first of all, I think Aaron Glenn is the right guy for the job. Just watching him on that blocked field goal, the reaction of a head coach to be sprinting down the sideline and dancing and into it. If the players don't follow that lead, that's a them problem.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I think Aaron Glenn is the right dude for the job.
Yep.
I love Justin Fields. I think my organization ruined him and took his confidence away. I think he's got all talent in the world. I think they confused him so much he's lost track of who he is.
Mm-hmm.
I think your Jets need maybe new leadership in terms of general manager to find the right talent to give Aaron Glenn the right ingredients to cook up his recipe. Because right now you've got it seems like you got a bunch of all-stars playing in the wrong positions, a little off kilter, a little out of touch. And it's going to take a minute, but I think you got the guy who's going to start pointing your ship in the right direction.
Yeah. With your Bears, though, what do you think about Williams? You think he's
right now, I'm cautiously optimistic. I have been down this road too many times with we got the dude at quarterback, whether it was Cutler or Trubisky or Justin. So now I'm cautiously optimistic. What I saw in the first 2 weeks, even though I saw things in Caleb that were footwork was great, arm strength was off the charts, he wasn't really reading the field. And then you go to the extreme last week against Dallas where he just looked like the second coming. I'm somewhere in between. I hope he's the dude who put up 300 yards against the Cowboys and 4 touchdowns. I hope that's him every week. I think Ben Johnson is the dude. I think creatively, when's the last time we saw a Bears quarterback throw a flea flicker?
Never.
Yes, I'm agreeing with you. Then Caleb's ability to recognize Rome beating Diggs off the line and that streak up the sideline and open by about 15 yards, and Caleb to put it right on his hands. He couldn't have handed it off to him better. Like, that's so encouraging. And those are 2 throws that I don't think I've seen Bears quarterbacks make ever.
No.
So I think we've got the right pieces. I think the boys need to completely buy in to Ben Johnson's offense. And I think if they do, then the sky is the limit of what that team could be. I think we saw a snippet against Dallas, albeit a bad Dallas defense without Micah Parsons. Still, I think we saw a glimpse of what Caleb Williams can be. And if that's true, oh boy, we went from being the bums to the Bears to back to the monsters of the Midway. And I'm ecstatic. I've been suffering for 40 years. And look, the Jets and the Bears are the same thing. Think about it. We both rose up. We won a Super Bowl and haven't done squat since.
That's correct.
So I think we're due. I think it's time. I hate that I watch teams and I'm proud of them and happy for them, but like watching the welcome mat of our division, the Detroit Lions, go from 0-16 2 seconds away from the Super Bowl and looking like a dominant power. And they did this in a 6-year period, and we can't find a guy who can throw for 4,000 yards. So I'm hoping we got the right guy.
I just picked up Odunze in my fantasy league as a wide receiver. He's lighting it up, man. Number 3 in the league.
He's wide receiver 1. And I'm telling you, Luther Burden is wide receiver 2. And that says a lot when you got DJ Moore on your roster.
Correct.
That says a lot. But I'm telling you, Caleb to Rome and Caleb to Burden is going to be something to watch. And then DJ, that brother can get open. He could shake a defender in a phone booth. Like, that's how good he is when he wants to play and he plays hard. And you saw that last week. So
Yeah. And Swift is still good. DeAndre is still Swift.
Swift is still good. He's not that explosive. We need another running back. We need two. I like the Detroit model where they've got what is it, Sonic and Knuckles. I want the two. I want Thunder and Lightning. I need two running backs so we can split the load. And when you load up for the heavy running back, we take you around the corner. So I think Poles needs to get into the college ranks and look deeply, because he's got some draft picks coming up this year where he needs to really secure the O-line and load up on the running back room. And we need an edge rusher too.
Yeah. See, I don't know. Breece Hall, for us, I think he lost a step after he got injured. I don't know what happened to him. It's not the same.
It's not the same, because I remember that rookie year, man. He would hit a hole, and before you realize he was in the hole, he was 10 yards past the linebackers.
I don't know what happened.
He hit a third gear, just boom. And I think the injury had something to do with it, because he just doesn't seem to have that step, that extra gear. Maybe it's O-line, maybe it's him. I don't know. I heard he might be the subjects of some trade rumors.
Yes, I've heard that myself too.
I've heard that, so we'll see.
Yeah, and Sauce Gardner, I don't know. He's not the same anymore either.
He's on an island by himself. The same thing happened to Revis. You can't rely on one dude and go, you shut the defense down.
Yeah, exactly.
You eventually, brother, gonna get tired.
Yep, you're right.
So Sauce is good, and he'd be great if there was complementary cornerbacks and safeties helping him. But when he's one man, literally on an island, come on, man. One man can't defend a castle.
You're right. You're absolutely right, man. Let me ask a couple more wrestling questions, because I had some on here I forgot to ask you. One was with the head shake. That was a famous one, your head shake. Everyone loves you coming in. How did you come up with that?
That came from the movie Friday.
Okay.
There's a famous scene where Red is there talking about with the boys, and Debo comes up, and Red goes, "Hey man, my mama said I need my bike back." And he goes, "Oh yeah?" And he, "All right, come with me." And then Debo uppercuts him. And then Chris Tucker gets up and goes, "You just got knocked out."
Oh, yes.
So back in the day, we would have DVDs like we would have CDs. You had a sleeve of them. You had your favorite movies. Friday was one of those movies.
Yep.
It was always on in the background. So one Raw, Ken Shamrock is wrestling Rocky, and Rocky clotheslines Ken Shamrock over the top rope to the floor. And I could hear Jim Ross pitching to commercial. So I know exactly where the camera's at. It's on Ken Shamrock.
Okay.
And just out of reaction, I run up, get between Ken and the camera, go, "You just got knocked." And that was the first time I had done anything of the head shake. Fast forward to, later on, it caught Vince's attention. He told me to keep trying it. So I explored it, and that's when the head shake turned up. That's when the strut to the ring happened.
Yep.
And the evolution of D'Lo started.
Yeah. And then you had the chest protector, which I didn't like at first, but then that just became part of you, and then I loved it. I mean, who told you to put on that costume?
That was a Jim Ross thing.
Okay.
So I'm walking through catering one day, and Jared goes, "D'Lo, come here." And he brings me over and sit down. And his exact words were, "You're a very talented wrestler. But we got a roster full of talented wrestlers. What separates you from everybody else?" And I went, "Okay, I don't know." And he goes, "Your finish is that splash up the top rope. What if you're injured and you had some kind of something that would help you to make your finish more devastating?" And he goes, "What if you had a chest protector?" And my first thought was, this man is crazy. I ain't going no damn chest protector. They're gonna call me Johnny Bench. No, man. I ain't Mike Piazza. No, I ain't doing that. And so I walk away and I go, hopefully he'll forget about that. The next day in catering, he goes, "Have you thought more about the chest protector thing?" And I was like, "Let me think a little more about it." So I go home and I'm mad as hell. I'm madder than a nest of hornets that someone just knocked over. Okay. And I'm talking to my fiance at the time, and I explain to her what's going on. I'm like, they're all going to laugh at me. They're going to call me names. And she said the most prophetic thing she'd ever said in our whole time together. She goes, "Try it, and if it's a bad idea, it's because the idea is bad. But if you don't try it, it failed because you didn't try it.
Okay, it's good advice.
And I looked at her and I was like, damn, why you got to make sense? So I went back at TV the next week and I go, JR, I thought about it. Let's run with this thing. Let's run with this. So then they built it, and it debuted in Pittsburgh, and it's Rocky Wrestling. I think Dan Severn or Ken Shamrock. It's one of the two. And I come running through the crowd, and I've got the chest protector on, and I climb to the top rope, and you can hear the people that they're going, like they see I've got something on, but they don't know what it is, but they know I got something. And when I hit the frog splash, the crowd went, woo! And instantly I hear this and I go, that was different.
Wow.
And as I jump over, because I just done the angle where I was hurt like 2 weeks earlier.
Yeah,
and I jump back over the rail. People are yelling at me, you're not hurt. Get that off you. And I was like, oh, hell. We got something here.
That's good.
And going from hating it and not wanting to do it, it became the thing that's made me stand apart from everyone else. And people are still talking about it 30 years later. So I have done this a few times. I've done it publicly. Thank you, Jim Ross, for convincing a young, dumb kid to put the chest protector on because it was the greatest thing for my character.
Let me ask you, you think the Nation of Domination would work today in today's wrestling with the culture going on today?
I think the Nation will be a babyface today, like straight babyface.
Yeah, you think so?
I think the Nation is the Nation was about guys who were angry and upset and not given an opportunity. They were going to take it by any means necessary. And I think in today's culture that would fit right in. I think it's, if you don't get it, you take it, would work out huge. Now, there had to be some tweaks to the Nation for sure. Yeah. But I think the Nation could play today.
Yeah. Who is your Mount Rushmore of wrestlers?
And I've been asked this question 1,000 times, and
I'm sure you have.
My answer will remain the same. When you talk about, I mean, who do you put on your Mount Rushmore? The greatest draw, the greatest entertainer, the greatest wrestler, the greatest promoter, the greatest talker. You can't boil it down to just four faces. Because that's an insult to the 10,000 other faces that helped get those four faces there. So to me, my Mount Rushmore just says pro wrestling across it. And it's my Mount Rushmore is professional wrestling, because it took all of us to get to where wrestling's on ESPN. It took all of us to get to where wrestling is mainstream and pop culture. And who's your best technical wrestler? Who's your best, there's too many categories to break it down into.
Correct.
To just give four faces. So my Mount Rushmore is pro wrestling.
What was the toughest part of the business? Was it the travel?
It's the travel. It's the separation from family. It's hearing about birthdays. It's hearing about gatherings. It's being gone for 38 days at a time, coming home for 2, and then being gone for 20 more. Yeah. That's the hard part. But it's one of those things that it's when you love entertaining, and for every bit of sorrow I felt being away from home, I was given that much joy and more to others when we appeared. You kind of rationalize it and it offsets, and you're like, it's for the greater good, because I'm bringing joy to millions while one is upset. Yeah. Okay. I'm going to bring up October 5th, the Draws incident, it happened, but I know you guys were friends, and everything. Yeah, absolutely.
Everything it was an accident, and wrestling's a dangerous business. People think it's fake, but it's not. It's really tough. And you guys probably still don't know what went wrong. It's just an accident, correct?
No, we Draws and I watched it back one time. Okay. And in watching it back, we still don't know what happened. We don't know. I mean, and the running powerbomb was a thing that he and I had done 50 or 100 times on house shows around the country. So it's not like something we had tried out for the first time. Just on that night, something went wrong. Lucky enough, Draws and I stayed friends throughout his life. Yeah. And there was never ill will from me to him or from him to me. And it's a cautionary tale of, just because this stuff is predetermined, every time those young men and women get in the ring, they're literally taking their life in their hands.
Correct.
And you're relying on someone else to keep you safe. And that's why when you hear the announcement, don't try this at home or leave it to the professionals, it is 100% true, because it takes years of training to get to Monday night. It takes years of training to get to SmackDown on Friday. So things can go wrong, and there have been accidents, and people make fun of them, call them botches, but those botches can lead to serious damage. So when I'm dealing with students now, and I'm training people, or I'm talking to them, and I'm doing seminars, I use what happened to us as a teaching tool so it doesn't happen again.
Yeah, exactly right. It's a danger. I mean, Stone Cold almost got paralyzed.
And by Owen Hart. Owen Hart's one of the best wrestlers I've ever been in the ring. And just on that day, Steve Austin's head was just 3 inches too low. Things happen.
Yeah, things still happen. Owen Hart, I mean, you knew him pretty well, right?
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Was he a great guy? I heard he was a great ribber. Loved to rib all the time.
Owen, it was a great ribber. Nothing malicious.
Okay.
Like little things like tying your shoes up or putting a padlock on your bag, and I say this all the time, is even if Owen was older than you, he was everyone's baby brother. That's how much everyone loved and protected Owen Hart. He was a national treasure, and he was by far the most talented wrestler I've ever been in the ring with. And I've been in the ring with a lot of great wrestlers. Owen by far was the best. And he was a far better human than he ever was a great wrestler.
Wow. I didn't even realize that you were in the Impact longer than WWE, I believe. Correct?
And people don't get that I've spent more time in Impact, in and around Impact, than WWE. I'm just most known for my runs in WWE. But yeah, if I do my math, I think I spent, I don't know, 7 years in WWE, and I've spent like 10 years in and around Impact. It's just crazy.
Yeah. I mean, you were in Aces and Eights and everything. So you did a lot.
And worked backstage forever as a producer, and worked as a color commentator, and work as a talent. So I've had 3 different runs in TNA. Yeah.
So now where are you going to be? I mean, what are you doing now? You have the podcast with Derek, which is a great podcast, Podcast Heat. Where can they find that? And tell me more about other stuff.
Podcast Heat, you can find that on YouTube. And if you have any questions, find me on Instagram at D'Lo Brown LFC. That stands for Liverpool Football Club. Or X on Twitter. At Twitter, you can find me at D'Lo Brown 75, and that keeps you up to date on where all the comings and goings of D'Lo Brown. I help out a lot of independent companies. There's 3PWA out in California. There's Rocky Mountain Pro in Denver. There's Texoma Wrestling down in Oklahoma. And then I'm all around traveling, doing seminars, clinics, signings. I just like being out there and trying to help the next generation avoid the pitfalls that some of us fell into, and help them on their journey up this mountain that is pro wrestling.
Yeah. Would you ever consider coming back to WWE if they called you?
There's nothing off the table.
Nothing off the table?
I have no ill will or anything towards WWE. And if there's an opportunity to teach, I would love it. I mean, anywhere I can teach, I'd be happy, because it's all about giving back the information that was given to me over years. I got to give it to somebody else before I close my eyes for the final time. So I want to make sure all that information is out into the world and helping generations to come.
You had a wrestling school, correct? You have a wrestling school?
Yes.
Where is that located?
There's one out in California where I help out a lot, the 3PWA Academy out in Corona, California. You can check out at D'Lo Brown 75 on Twitter. All the information is there.
Okay, perfect.
And once again, just hit me up there, and please support the Lowdown on Podcast Heat. Get on there, like, subscribe, comment, get on there and chop it up. We just have fun, shooting it off. Not anything controversial. We just lighthearted talk like you and I are having.
That's right.
Two dudes talking wrestling. That's what the Lowdown is.
Well, what do you think your Bears are going to finish record-wise? What do you think they're going to finish?
Okay, so I'm right there. When I started the season, I was at I was at 7-10, 8-9.
Okay.
I think we can go on a run here because I like our chances against the Raiders. Baltimore, we got in a couple weeks they're hurt, and Jane Daniels out for a couple more weeks. We're catching teams at the right time. I don't know. I mean, and it depends on what team shows up. Is it the team that had a 50 burger dropped on them in Detroit, or is it a team that blew out Dallas? That's what we'll. I'm gonna stick with 7 or 8 wins for now, but I think we're about to turn a corner, and pretty soon double-digit wins is not going to be the it won't be the exception. It'll be the rule when it comes to the Chicago Bears.
I'm just hoping for 5 wins. That's right now. I'm just hoping for 5 wins with the Jets.
I just want Justin the ball out, man. I love that kid so much. I mean, if he balls out, you guys will get easily 5 wins, and then if you get the rest of the team to rise up around him, man. Once again, I'm to this day, I'll be a Justin Fields guy, and I always wish him the best.
Yeah. Well, D'Lo, thank you so much. Thank Derek and everything. I hope again we could meet up and talk and everything, and come out to Jersey and visit when you get a chance.
Joe, I appreciate. Thank you for having me on here, and it's always fun to chop it up with a Jersey guy.
Thanks, my brother. I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Appreciate
all the best.
Started from nothing. Jersey streets, we owned it. Jay-Z pumping iron. Body builder Cody. Years on the court.